Hello and welcome to episode 17 of Zero to Hero. Yes, welcome back to Zero to Hero. I'm Wes, and in today's episode we'll be taking on Lynn and local rivals Darlington in the Vanarama National League North. Now, since you were last with me, we've had a pretty rough run of games just recently. When you last saw us, we lost 2-1 to Solihull Moors after beating Workington 2-0. We managed to follow that up with a 3-2 home win. 2 goals from Robles and 1 from Gilchrist. But we could only manage a draw in our next game against Southport away from home. Robles with the only goal in that for us. We then managed to beat Alfreton 2-1 away from home. Again, 2 goals from Robles. He's been on fire this season. We then beat Ashton United 3-2 at home. The winning goal came from an Oliver Finney penalty. We were really struggling to break them down in that game. We then drew 2-2 to Stalybridge at home, and we followed that up with a 2-0 away loss to Kettering, a game we really should have won. We didn't play at all well, and we struggled to keep them at 2-0, to be honest with you. But we picked it up in our next game against Telford, who were around the top of the table at that point, and we didn't beat them. We drew with them 3-3 at home. 2 goals from Oliver Finney in that game. He scored a 51st minute penalty to equalise. We were 1-0 up. They went up to 3-1 up, and then Finney basically got us back into it by himself. But then we struggled in the next game and we lost 2-0 away from home against Boreham Wood, which was an awful game. Tom Edwards had an absolutely terrible game with only a 5.5 rating. But we managed to turn it around in the next game, or our last game just before this episode. We beat Gloucester 3-1 at home. An own goal and a goal from Lewis Knight and Jack Blackford meant that we took all 3 points there. Now, because of the few losses we've had and the draws where we should have been winning, we have slipped to 3rd in the table, and we are 11 points behind Harrogate in 1st place with only 8 games left to go. So we need to hope that they slip up massively if we stand any chance of winning the league this season. They've been in fantastic form. They've had 22 wins, 6 draws and 6 losses, compared to our 17 wins, 10 draws and 7 losses. We've drawn far too many games this season where we should have really been winning, and a couple of losses that really shouldn't have happened. But we've had a decent season. If you compare it to last season, where FC United were struggling down in the bottom of the table, and when I joined them around this time last year, they were looking like they were going to be relegated, but we managed to save them, and it's been a fantastic turnaround. We weren't expected to finish this high up the league anyway. I think we can safely say that we should finish in the playoffs, although we are only 2-3 points above Solihull Moors in 7th, so a couple of losses in the last 8 games could see us fall out of the playoff picture altogether. But fingers crossed it won't happen. We should be able to maintain the level of form that we've had and keep in the playoffs. Also, a little bit of news on the job front. I was offered an interview with Southend United in League One. They were 20th when I was offered the interview. I went for the interview, and then FC United's board wanted to convince me to stay because it looked like I was going to get the Southend job. And I decided, rather than taking a risk at a higher level at the moment, I would consolidate our finish at the end of this season and then see it about moving on at the end of the season to a different club if we don't get promoted. If we get promoted, then I will do a season with FC United to see how far I can get them in the Vanarama National League. And then, depending on how that goes, then I will look at moving up to a higher league. But hopefully, we'll see what happens, and hopefully we can get FC United promoted. I don't want to be staying here too long down at this level, because I need to be progressing on trying to move up the leagues. But obviously I want to try not to run before I can walk, really. Okay, so we'll move on to the match against Lynn, away from home. They're 8th at the moment, we're 3rd. And we're going to go with our regular formation and pretty regular starting 11 that we've had for most of this season. We've gone with Brook in goal, Walford, Sharon, Dean and Edwards at the back. A midfield of Marcus Wood and Pozo, Knight and Blackford on the wings, and Gilchrist and Robles up front. Staying on the attacking mentality, structured team shape and the same team instructions we've had all season. Not rotating the side at the moment. I know Lewis Knight's carrying a bit of a knock, but he's at 94% conditioning and 93% match fitness, so he can play on with that. And we have got Adam Dawson on the bench if needs be, if it picks up a knock during the match. We have been struggling of late to score goals, which is really weird because we've had no problems with it all season. And Robles has been in fantastic form. I think he's scored 24 goals in all competitions for us so far this season. If he could get to 30 goals by the end of the season, that would be fantastic. And certainly would make himself an FC United legend in just 2 seasons at the club. Well, 1.5 seasons really. Robles playing the ball forward for Blackford, who forces 2 saves out of the keeper early on. But him and Gilchrist have been a fantastic partnership since I brought Robles in. And hopefully we can keep them both at the club for next season. And Gilchrist has just put us 1-0 up 3.5 minutes in. Robles with the assist as well. So the front two combining like they have been doing all season. Gilchrist was really deep. He played the ball to Pozo, who then played it to Robles, and Gilchrist had carried his run forward, picked up the ball, and it was an excellent finish to put us 1-0 up. And that will see us climb to 2nd and put us only 9 points behind Harrogate in 1st place. So if I'm right, that would mean that Harrogate are either not playing today or they're losing. Or maybe my maths doesn't work. Pozo to Wood, forward to Gilchrist, who couldn't add his 2nd, blazed it over the bar. No, Harrogate are winning, so why are we... right, they've only just scored, so we're back to being 11 points behind them now. Southport need to do us a favour and equalise if we stand any chance of catching them. Because we basically need to win all of our games and hope that they slip up in at least 2, 3 or maybe 4 of theirs. Which, the form they've been in is unlikely. I don't know if we've got to play them. I'm sure we have got to play them in the run-in. So that could be interesting. Pozo with the ball in midfield played it up to Gilchrist, to Robles, and he has a very tame shot. He has, like I say, he's been in fantastic form this season. Usually if he scores, he generally gets at least 2. I don't think he's scored any hat-tricks for us this season, but he's just been scoring so regularly. He generally, if he plays, he scores. Edwards forward to Gilchrist. Pozo with the ball now, and Robles loses out. And they're breaking on us, and they've hit the post. We were lucky there. The post coming to our rescue. Harrogate still ahead in their game. Wolford with the corner to Dean, and he just hit the bar, I think. It was a great opportunity to go 2-0 up. We have managed to bring in a backup left winger as well. I managed to sign one on free transfer. I'll find him for you in between the games so I can show you him. He's nothing special. He's just there as an extra option in case Blackford gets injured. Because I do usually, if he is injured, I play Knight on the left wing and then bring Dawson into the team, because Knight's one of the better options that we've got at left wing. In fact, he is better there playing out of position than the guy that I signed, but he's signed on a non-contract, so we only pay him when he plays. And we've dropped back down to third now because I believe Telford are ahead in their game. They're 1-0 up. They could have been 2-0 up because they've missed a penalty. So we need Ashton to now do us a favour as well, because we're still 11 points behind Harrogate and 1 point behind Telford. Not that it matters where in the playoffs we finish, as long as we're in there, but I would like to finish as high as possible. Blackford not having a very good game, and neither is Lewis Knight, so I'm going to leave Blackford on for now and bring Dawson on for Knight, and then I don't know what else to do. I mean, Wolford can play at left wing, so I might bring Wolford up to play as the winger, even though he doesn't like it entirely, but he'll have to do a job for us there. And we'll bring on Donnelly Blackburn for Blackford and give him a run out. We'll just do that for now. Wolford with the throw in to Pozo, to Wood, to Blackford, and Robles shoots wide. Still only 1-0 up, and I'd prefer us to be further ahead. We've been a bit wasteful today because they're breaking on us again, and that's the equaliser. 73 minutes in, it was just a good counter-attack from them. We didn't defend at all well. Edwards should have done a lot better. And the marking in that penalty area was just ridiculous. And that sees us drop to 4th place. Kettering moving above us. And that will leave us 13 points adrift of Harrogate. And that would just mean that our season's pretty much over in terms of winning the league. We really need to be winning every single game now till the end of the season. And we still got to hope that Harrogate mess up more than 3 times, which is just not going to happen. It's still not mathematically impossible, but it doesn't. It defies all logic, really, that they would do that. I'm going to bring Wood off because he's on a yellow card, and we're going to give Finney a run out. Robles not having a very good game, but we'll keep him on because he is a goal machine at the moment. We're going to actually go on to overload just to try and push on for a winner, because there's been so many times where we've been 1-0 up or just been 1 goal ahead, and we've conceded a late equaliser, and we just don't push on for that winning goal. And we've, like I say, we've drawn far too many games this season that we should have won, and this is one of them. I know that Kings Lynn are up in and around the playoffs where we are, but we have beaten them already this season. And it's all over. We have drawn 1-1 away from home. Many would say that that's a fair result, but they had more shots than we did and more shots on target. We had more possession. So many people would say that that's a fair result, but I'm a bit disappointed that we've not won that game. Okay, so we're ready for our next match against Darlington, one of our local rivals. We're naming an unchanged side from the team that drew against Kings Lynn. We are favourites for this game, so hopefully we should be able to win. We're going, like I said, same team, same bench, same mentality, same team shape and same team instruction. I mean, we've been playing well with this formation and this team for most of the season, so I'm not going to change it just for the sake of changing it. I mean, the front two pretty much pick themselves every game. Robles and Gilchrist have been very, very good this season. Robles more than Gilchrist. He had a bit of a goal drought earlier in the season, but he has picked up a few goals in the last few games, so he's keeping his place in the side at the moment. 13 minutes in, we've got our first highlight, and it looks like it's going to be a highlight for Darlington. Although Knight wins the ball back, Dean plays it forward to Gilchrist, who plays it to Robles, who then loses out. He does tend to hold on to the ball a bit too long sometimes and loses possession quite a lot. It may be something we need to work on in training with him. Blackford plays it forward to Robles, who forces a save out of the Darlington keeper and wins us the corner. Walford with the corner but doesn't go to anybody. And that's the end of the highlight. We are playing at home as well, so we should really be winning this game. Darlington were 11th going into this game, so they're not far behind us, but we really should be beating them. Knight trying to play a ball forward but can't find anybody, and now Darlington are breaking on us again, but Dean wins the ball back, and the ball's now with Gilchrist to Robles, forward to Blackford, who's through on goal. He squared it to Gilchrist and we're 1-0 up, 21 minutes in. Good assist there from Blackford. He could have had a shot himself, and I was expecting a shot because he does generally cut inside and shoot from that sort of area, but he managed to square it to the on-running Gilchrist, who just smashed it into the back of the net. Once again, weighing in with a goal when it's needed. I have been looking around to sign some new players to see if we can just tweak the side we've got. I think we're struggling for defenders at the moment because although Dean and Sharon pretty much play every single game, and when they don't play, Kay fills in for one of them, I think we are lacking a bit at the back sometimes because we do quite often struggle to keep clean sheets and keep just stop conceding goals. We need to plug those holes at the back. And I mean, Walford plays every single game for us. He generally plays well every single game. Edwards not so much. He does struggle sometimes. He's very inconsistent, but we haven't got any other better options. I mean, Arlen Birch is a backup option, but I wouldn't want to play him week in, week out. Knight with the ball now, loses out, and that's the end of that highlight. Yeah, Edwards does seem to struggle, and again, it's one of them games where he's struggling. We do tend to concede a lot of goals from crosses from them wide positions. I think it's because we play such a high, because we play with two wingers, advanced wingers. We do tend to struggle when they break down the wings. We don't look for the overlap, and I've got both the fullbacks on automatic. Maybe I should put them on defend, because it's very rare they get forward anyway, and it'd be nice to try and plug those holes at the back. I mean, Walford he's having an average game really, 6.7 at the moment. Edwards not having the best of games. I know he's only on a 6.6, which is only 0.1 lower than Walford, but Walford does tend to weigh in with assists, and he does take a lot of penalties and free kicks for us and corners, so he tends to get in the side every single game, whereas Edwards just remains mostly anonymous apart from when he makes a mistake, which is harsh on him really, but if he's making mistakes then he shouldn't really be in the side. We can't afford to be making mistakes at this point of the season when we're trying to keep our playoff place. Gilchrist with the ball on the wing, can he square it? He squares it to Robles, and that's 2-0, 74 minutes in. So Gilchrist with a goal and an assist so far. Maybe a contender for man of the match. He did well down that wing. It was a good cross, and Robles just nodded it in from close range, making that, I think, is his 25th goal in all competitions this season. He's not the league's top goal scorer at the moment, and just bigging up Gilchrist. He's injured now. What's wrong with him? Potential foot injury. Hopefully it's not too bad. We'll bring on Chris Speed for him. Chris Speed doesn't generally play as a deep lying forward, but I don't want to change things too much, because generally Robles is the better of the two, so he needs to be playing in the advanced position. Other than that, I mean, Edwards on a 6.7, but we don't have a right back on the bench at the moment, so he will stay on. Wood struggling for conditioning there, so I'm going to bring Finney on for him, just to give him a run out and make sure that Wood doesn't get injured. Him and Pozo have been a fantastic partnership this season in midfield as well. They generally pick themselves every match, and we have just conceded not an equaliser. We've conceded a goal which puts us at 2-1. Once again, struggling to defend and keep clean sheets. Brooks been very good in goal since he came back, and once again it's Edwards that's made the mistake. I think in the next game, or for the next few games, we're going to drop Edwards, give Birch a chance, see if he can get some form going. And Robles has just restored our 2-goal advantage. That's 2 for him on the day. Another assist from Blackford. Knight with the initial cross. Blackford just nodded it down for Robles, who tucked it away nicely there. 85 minutes in. I think we're going to make our final substitution with only 2 minutes of normal time to go. I think we're going to bring off Pozo, struggling for fitness at the moment as well. But I'm going to bring Knight off, and I'm going to bring on Adam Dawson just to see if he can maintain some fitness. Because Knight, although he's played well, he has been a bit inconsistent at some points this season. So I like to make sure that Dawson keeps his fitness up, so he's ready to come in. Blackford with the ball now, with a cross to Chris Speed, and how could he miss that? He was 3 yards out and just put it wide. Could have made it 4-1 there. But the game has finished 3-1. We have beaten Darlington as we expected. Man of the match was Blackford for his 2 assists. And I think that pushes us up to 3rd, if I'm right. No, we stay in 4th. Level on points with Telford. Only 1 goal in it in terms of goal difference. They lost today as well against Boreham Wood. We'll have a quick look to see where we're going to come back, see what we've got for the last few games. We've got, I think, 6 games left now. And we've got Harrogate just before the last 2 games of the season. So I think what we'll do is we'll go right through to the last 2 games of the season now. So we'll play 4 games behind the scenes, and then we'll come back for the last 2 against Leamington and Workington, just to see the season out, and we'll see where we go from there, because obviously we probably will have the playoffs, hopefully, because I don't think we're going to catch Harrogate now. Harrogate are still in 1st, I believe. They are, and we are 11 points behind still, with 6 games to go. So I don't think we're going to catch them. So if you like that, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe for more Football Manager 18 videos, and thank you very much for watching.